beautiful loop. I just said Hawker Fury. Obviously that wasn't ChatGPT getting it wrong, that was me. It was the Hawker Nimrod, that one of the biplanes that Hawker had before the Hurricane was developed. But we've just had our beautiful loop flown by the lead, Trevor Dugan, and on the wing, Gabriel Barton, in these two Mark I Hurricanes. The difference being that the leader's aircraft has a Merlin 3 engine fitted. That could actually produce only around 880 horsepower. But in the number 2 aircraft, there is a Merlin 35, the mark that was pretty much normally fitted to the Spitfire Mark 5, and that can actually produce just under 1,300 horsepower. So a huge power difference in these two aircraft. Much better to have the higher powered one in formation. In from the right, Trevor and Gabriel. During the Battle of Britain, the Hurricane was very much overshadowed by the more, in a lot of people's eyes, the more glamorous Spitfire, but actually it was the Hurricane that had more success in terms of number of kills during the Battle of Britain. Between 55 and 60% of kills in the Battle of Britain were actually by the Hurricane over the Spitfire. The Hurricane was generally sent to go and attack the enemy bomber formations, whereas the faster and more climb-able Spitfire was sent to attack the fighter formations. Trevor giving the commands over the radio, so Gabriel has an idea of what is coming up. Climbing, rolling, he'll just give those commands over the radio, and it gives Gabriel an idea of what is coming up next. And it could actually climb to around 35,000 feet, but it took a long time to get there. Trevor said on the radio they're tightening, so he's just easing back on the control column just to tighten the turn for a little bit more G as he presented the underside of the formation to us here in the crowd. Initially the Hurricane was fitted with 8.303 inch Browning machine guns. Later variants could actually carry Cannon 4 ground attack rolls.
Well, yeah, because otherwise you've got to carry through. Okay, like garden seats.
It's a delight to see airworthy examples still flying here in the UK and in fact all around the world. Cameras ready as the formation comes in from the right hand side. So for ground forces, they could recognise easily with a black and white underside it was a friendly aircraft. spoke to Trevor yesterday about getting that speed up for the initial loop. He talks about how this aircraft really does sound like it's going very, very, very fast, just because of the wooden fabric fuselage, the way it's constructed. As you go faster and faster, it just starts rattling more and more, and you think you're going very, very fast indeed. You look in, and you're still only around about 200 miles an hour. So he says it's a very different aircraft to fly to the Spitfire, which is of metal construction, but this wooden fabric aircraft does give much more indication of how fast you're going, just by the way the airframe would vibrate. One of the other differences with the radiator directly under the cockpit, it's noticeable how hot the cockpit gets compared to the Spitfire with the radiator offset under the wing. So with the on the radio, he did indeed just say this will be their last pass. So please get your cameras ready to the right-hand side, the final pass of our Hurricane pair. A delightful performance indeed, I'm sure you'll agree. Please put your hands together for Trevor Dugan and for Gabriel as they complete the Hurricane pair display. Now, the Hurricane